Well, what a time to lose track of time, huh? A little bit of adjusting to do quick, moving some windows around. And there we go. What are you doing there? Go away. So as promised, I did put a little bit of effort into figuring out what was going on with Weza. Well, at least acting like I was figuring out what was going on with Weza. What have you. And of course today it's being funky again. Probably my own fault. Well, not probably. Definitely my own fault. If you can't blame yourself, who can you blame? Let's see what it's claiming. That one. See, I ended up just reinstalling the entire thing last night to get it to work. And work is subjective. I mean, it claims it's working. Again, subjective. And that went away again. That's fun. I'm going to have to downgrade this to a version that I know works. Or just do like everyone's saying I should do and move over to K9s, right? All right, so first up is the dashboard. What do the logs say? Well, that says it's working. Is that why? Oh, I do kind of need a colon in there, don't I? So, tell me why. Wait a minute. Did you pull the wrong? It may have pulled the wrong IP address. Let's go here and let's go here. No, you're 103. But why is it getting... It is definitely getting connections from Zabbix. And it shouldn't be. Let's see. Let's see if I've done something screwball. My guess is I did. Oh, well, that's fun. We should make sure and run that. I'm looking for not system servers. And I'm looking for DNS, not DHCP. Interesting. So yeah, at least at some point I had that one there. So I wonder if it doesn't make sense just to give it its own IP, or give it a new IP rather. So the dashboard's saying 105. What's available? So 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're gonna give you, excuse me. I wonder if it's gonna let me do this, or I'm gonna have to just replace it. Let's just do that. Probably have to restart this, right? And once again, I forgot to change the name. Whoops, there we go. Still nothing. Why are you still saying 105? Didn't I just edit you? Did I edit you in the wrong place? Do I need an annotation? I know there's a way to specifically reserve it. And I think I did it with Jenkins. Oh, no, that's just an allocation too. Okay. We'll do it in the projects area. I think it's, nope. There it is. And then we basically just reapply it, right? tempted to just do that. Alright, this should recreate it at least. It still just immediately goes to 105, so that's nice. I really should just convert it to an ingress. Like, there's zero reason for it to have a load balancer. Maybe I just do that, right? Let's see, we're gonna grab you, make a copy. Now the question is, where do I put this with regards to customize? See, this is one of the things about, like, I don't want to learn Helm, I don't want to learn customize, I don't want to learn, well, I shouldn't say I don't want to learn, but like, I'm kind of focused right now on the things that are Kubernetes, not the things that aren't Kubernetes. There's this way of doing it, there's that way of doing it. They're all different ways of skinning the cat, but base certs secrets. Maybe it's in base. Nope. Here. There we go. We have the service and the deploy. What do we have under comp? And that's all just SSL stuff, doesn't matter. Right, and this should just be a standard deployment, right? No ingress, nope, all right. So there's two ways I can go about this, I think. I can modify this so that it's just a standard service and then just 3 dashes and do the ingress here, or I try and add a file for ingress. It still needs to be a standard service though, which I think is just cluster IP, right? So let's look at what's something that has Redmine. Wait, no, not Redmine, because it's got an IP. I don't want a load balancer. What is... oh, there we go. Yeah, so that's just a cluster IP. Spec. So then I just expose the ports, selector, and I just change the type to cluster IP, realistically. this thinks it's on AWS. Don't need those. Right, so now if I do I'm wondering if it will just grab this and install it. One way to find out. Name is dashboard. Space. What's up? You go away, you go away, you go away, you go away. Is there a label? You dashboard. I guess I could have done that without. I can just do it from here. All right, annotations. We have API selector app. So I probably need to use the app equals. Let me make sure of that before I. What are you? I'll go back to that. Do you use an app? No. Nope. None of these have that set. I mean, I need this set. All right, I'm just gonna try it without it first. No labels. Don't label me. Annotations can stay. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. We don't need that. Nope. No managed fields. I don't need status. All right. Yes, I'm asking for a cert, even though that's silly. It's kind of funny because this may break because it's going to have a cert and then have a cert that's not trusted behind it. So I may need to do some other stuff there. But the port is not that. The port for my service here is 443. Like I said, this may break. If it even installs at all. I wonder if this has the files. Secret generator. Okay, yeah, this is where I would add that file. That should do it. Let's try again. Yeah, that's what I was worried about. I really don't like having dual. So that means I need to go in here. And I probably just need to get rid of these certificates. Now, will it run without them? We shall see. I think we need to leave. Probably need to leave the key too. Index here. Server SSL enabled. We're going to say false. That's probably all I needed to do. Because this doesn't matter if it's just not enabled, right? Template container volume. Its name. Dashboard certs not found. Oh, whoops. My bad. I meant to do that just so that, you know, I could show what an error would look like if you do something dumb. I think I need to change. I need to edit that to 80, huh? Well, actually, let's validate that. So, oh, I need to change more than that. I need to change the service. Okay. Because the service right now says 443, but we're going to want 80. We'll just, well, let's just do. Yeah. And then we need to modify the ingress because the ingress isn't that. It's now 8001. Now if we look at services, dashboard, cool. There really wasn't any reason that I needed to do it that way, but why not? Well, now don't you hate me. Is there anything in here? Start closing all these things I don't need. .401 unauthorized. Okay. Do I need to change the indexer stack now so that it's also not using HTTPS? Let's do this. Get everything gone. And we'll let it start over after it's all gone. It'll take a moment, but one thing that's interesting, and I don't know if this is a, well, it seems to be very specific to installing this way, but when the agent attempts to reach out to the first level, which is the primary server, it then gets kicked over to the worker server. But the agent doesn't change the IP address, so it keeps trying to connect to the primary server, but with the worker server's port number. So I need to figure out, why that's going on, because that's less than ideal. What happens, or the way to get around it, is basically you have to manually go in. What? Oh, yeah. You have to manually go in and tell it to connect to the main server, and then it connects, and then it starts failing, saying that it can't get to the worker, and then you change the IP address over to the worker, and it connects, and everything's happy. Doesn't seem like the right way of going about it, at least not to me. And it's probably something I just have configured poorly, so I'm not going to blame them yet. Oh man, my tags are all over the place too. There we go. Corrected. Alright, how are we looking? How's the dash? Oh, let's kill all these. We don't need these open. How are you looking? Response error. Okay, well, that could be just because it's starting up. Do you load? You still don't load. Authentication finally failed for admin. Let's see. Okay, that's useful. Storage class, indexer, and Wayza. Okay. None of that is particularly useful. I'm guessing that I'm not supposed to be editing this directly in the Wayza. It was a Wayza. I'm gonna have to find a video somewhere of someone from the company saying the name of this product. Application finally failed. HTTP server running at 5601. Unauthorized, unauthorized. Okay. Like, this shouldn't be an issue. All of these passwords, I didn't change any of these. Good to connect back up. Unauthorized. I mean, these are all just the generic secrets in here, so do I maybe just force it to use these instead of... I mean, these are the certificates. But that shouldn't be related, right? I mean, that's really just that it's a bad username and password. And I mean, those get generated each time, so... why would you not be able to get to the indexer? No, I don't want to edit. Go away. want this. Curl failed to verify the legitimacy of the server. So maybe the answer is yes, I do need to. Oops, that's not what I wanted. We need to open a folder. And this is under there. Sure, I trust him. So in theory, like this is all unneeded. This is everything I'm working off of. So it says the worker is a stateful set as opposed to manager worker. I mean, it's already a stateful set here. Oh, it's the replicas. I think it just changes replicas 1, right? Okay, yeah, it just changes the number of replicas. Change this for a hosted zone. Well, that doesn't matter. So how does that patch come in? So if I'm looking at the stateful set here, I'm looking at the worker, right? So in the worker, replicas 1, okay. So manager worker. So that's it. It just creates a replicas 1. So if I were to put template spec containers, so this one shows as worker. Verification, blah, blah, blah. Where's the thing that I changed? This isn't even the one I changed. Oh yeah, because the one that I changed was in the indexer stack under dashboard. So how does that know that that's where the change happens? because indexer resources doesn't do anything different there. Let's see, anything happen here? Just verify that it hasn't like randomly gone. Oh, okay, now I understand. Nope. And the only thing I changed was in dashboard. Where it said use SSL or use TLS, right? Where'd that go? Environment, index or password, dashboard username, dashboard password. Oh, there we go. Server SSL enabled. I set you to false. So if you're set to true, it's going to redeploy this guy. Still authentication failed. Okay. So that's really it. But now that's not going to work because it's trying to pull SSL. And I changed the service, right? Is now a cluster IP. If I do this, will it pop open? Okay, so that works. Let's see if boom, boom. Let's hop over here, just in case this is the one I leave running. Okay. Except that definitely is the password. Unless I did something dumb in here. Not impossible. But it should have updated that as well. Let's see. Oops. No, I do want that. or that quality content. Yeah, that's the same password, so this should be working. What's this saying? Failed authentication exception. Is one of these other ones. Okay, no, it's saying the backend registry is failing to connect still. How? How was this working before? The only thing I did was change which cluster device it was on. And this was working last night. At right around midnight, no problems. And what's stupid is, I can go this way. Is this the one? Yeah. And I can get read-only, which means that connection is apparently working. But this doesn't allow me to change anything. So my solution is about to be something else. Yeah, and all the agents are gone. Well, that's my fault. I deleted them. But now... Alright, if I go to here, I'm going to see it can't get to 109. And that is because in my services, well, now 109 just doesn't exist, but that's neither here nor there. We have 108 is 1514, so 1514. So I do this. And restart it. Jesus. And we look at the log. And now it's trying to connect to 1514. Oh, no, that's still correct. Well, that's new. I mean, that makes sense. There's nothing there. Reading config file. Fun. Okay. That's related, but unrelated. All right, so where was I? I wanted to look at that log. There we go. Now it's unable to connect to the enrollment service because the enrollment service is on the worker. Which is this one on 107. So I just need to go here. I change this to 107 and 1515. And restart the agent again. And we have things starting. Although this time it's not actually showing up, which is fun. This just keeps getting better and better. Yeah, authentication finally failed again. I think I'm just gonna have to like completely purge this to get it to work. At least I hope that's gonna finally do it, right? So we do that. The one thing that might be different is these guys. But I need to find the volumes which were attached. Like you, oh. Probably just go by status. Delete. All right, that should be it for Waza. Wasn't very wazy, was he? And then we try it again. Spec, template, spec, affinity, pod, anti-affinity, preferred, label selector. That is in the Stir. I'll have to see what that is. Oh, I need to fix that stupid TLS thing too. Okay, whatever. Close all of these. You're the one we care about. You should be connecting to... Which one's 9200? Probably the indexer. You are all we care about. Yeah, indexer. All right, but right now, dashboard is still a cluster IP. And this isn't going to work anymore. Yeah, I didn't think that was going to work anymore either. Or I shouldn't say anymore. I didn't think that was going to work. Period. Let's see what you say. That's fun. Try again. The local port. Oh, you know what? This happens sometimes. Recording. You've got to be deleted first. Let's see how that goes. Much better. Well, ish. Oh, all kinds of errors. No template found. The API is down. Your face is down. Your face down? Okay, that time we got the API. Cool. It was still starting. What can I say? What's kind of sad is that it kept the cookie. All right, don't care. But now we have to walk through that again. I really wish I could just make this stable. Maybe we focus on that today. And this being incorrect. Well, actually, let's log out and see if maybe my little reboot madness fixed it. I know, so secure. This is the one I'm after. Shunk. And what I want is my secrets. should be this one. Yep. Yeah, it still doesn't like the, even though I'm sending that and I'm setting that, it doesn't like it. Part of me is tempted to just start over with Weza. So let's see. So agent enrollment is placed here. All right, so let's do this copying again. What I'm gonna do first things first is get rid of this. Get rid of everything that has to do with this. Interesting. It has 3 of them now. All right, and that's gone as well. So it's got 4.74. I think I'm working off 4.73, so that doesn't matter. But at least it shouldn't. Should be an archive. It's not recursive, it's just because there's already one there. There we go. Oops. All right, so number 1, all we care about is the local environment side of things. So let's go to actually, that's funny. This just picked it all up. So right now, all of this stuff is untouched. Cool. Yep, we're never gonna need that. Okay. We're not using micro K8, so instead we're using an EBS. Where'd you go? Right there. Open EBS dash host path. Open EBS .io/local. Make sure that's accurate. I'm pretty sure it is, but IO/local. That's the one. All right. I do want to the required certificates. So what I want to try and make sure I do is not use these certs. But you know what? Why not? Like right now, I'm back to the point of, can we just make this stupid thing work? But I do still want to see about, so base, that's it, creating it, and then namespace. What if I change this? Will that change all of these? Oh, certs I don't care about. That's what I'm worried about. Because I think it's still going to put it in, yeah, it's still going to say that it doesn't matter. So let's put that back and not do it. SSL enabled. Let's try. That. Anything in here? Open search host. Okay, so it still needs those certificates. Here, nothing there. Oh, what am I doing? Nothing there. There's not going to be anything there. List the users with the default passwords, which is kind of funny. I wonder if I changed the password in here, but not in there. Did something equally silly. All right, let's just run this and see what happens, shall we? pulpy. Accumulate resources from projects to must resolve to a file. Did I do something silly in there? Dashboard. Oh, guess I did. I don't know how that happened. Try it again. All right, now this is all going to be default password stuff. And default everything. But in theory, I should be able to just do this. And it shouldn't be SSL'd anymore. Just on its own, nothing else. It's the only thing I changed. All right. Port, you go away. It seems like whenever one of these things fails, nothing's going to work anymore. Okay. It just hates my freedom. Well, luckily, we can still just go to 105. Maybe. Oh, right, because it's not HTTPS. It's just going to be, or at least it should be. That's what it should be, in theory. It doesn't look like it is, but that's what it should be. It really doesn't like having that SSL turned off, like, for any reason. Oh, great. I see what's going on. But why? Okay, what did I do differently? This is why we have an archive folder. That's it. Although I do think, let's see. Yeah, so that's the big difference. Boom, boom, at the provisioner, and then I just need to add those. Okay. Oops. Nanot. Oh, something happened. It failed. That's what happened. Let's try that again. What are you showing? Are you there? Okay. Do I have to delete you again? Oh. Volume binding mode invalid. Field is immutable. Yeah. The details. I has the attentions. What was that beep? Oh yeah, Pokemon's getting chatty lately. Used to play the heck out of that game. Well, I got started on Ingress, and that one was the big change for me. Come on, you can finish. I believe in you. All right, let's try again. Pending. Come on. There's 1, 2, and there we go. Well, that's weird. So if this works, then I should be able to use the ingress route. Why are these hanging on initializing still though? Okay, going green. Was all 0? Going green. You can do it. Anything yet? Oh, no, because it's waiting for the indexer no matter what. Yeah, it's waiting for that to come online. I guess I could and probably should be watching its logs, huh? No, it doesn't have any logs, so that's not a problem. What your deal is? Do you have a crash loop or something? Oh, yours pending, huh? No additional information at all? taking so long? Let's see what it has to say. Dash and oops. And it goes green because now we can look at your logs, I hope. But it doesn't have any more information. Maybe there was just a different version it needed to download? Error, connection refused. We need to stop refusing connections here. Oop. Well, at least we got a response error. Moving on up. You may need to run a security admin. Hey, that looks like stuff happening. All right, I'm going to burb real quick. And we're back. All right, it says it is currently running. It looks like it at least attempted to reload, but this has already taken way too long. How does a site not being reachable take 11 megs of memory? That seems excessive. All right. Fine. It's still 105, yeah. Let's try this. see if this fails. Oh, it might. There might still be a failed one in there. Yep, let's see. Go away. Can I just do that? Sure looks like it. Oh, local port is 0? That's not gonna work. Can I edit you? Local port. Okay, we'll just do that. Well, let me do random. Okay. Fine. We'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope. Doesn't like that. We are looking for 10.1.200.105.5601. I mean, when all else fails, just keep banging your head against it, right? Go away. It's definitely supposed to be working. It looks like it's not even getting through. Oh, no, it's still trying to do HTTPS even though I told it not to. Or did I put that back and forget? Nope, right there. Okay. So do I need to switch it back to 443? That just doesn't make sense. Oh, that could be an issue, huh? Maybe I need to do that. I think that's the issue. That should only change the dashboard. Let's see. No, it's still doing HTTPS. Why? So do these just mean nothing? Oh, well, this is just the dashboard, so that doesn't matter. The indexer, no problem. Share. is there something in there? Oh, well, that's not going to be in here, though. That's part of the... So let's just hop in here. What does this say? We don't need. Okay, so that's still got server SSL enabled true. Is there, I think there is something in here in the config maps. Base storage cert, secrets, managers. Is it here? No. It would have to be in here. Here. Yeah, let's do that. So, I mean, because of course you'd have to change it in like 14 places, right? Error deleting dashboard. Oh, whoops. I forgot. Delete, then modify, or, yeah. Can I, if I go to namespaces, sort by name, flip you around. Okay, so it does delete its namespace too. And now we've got to wait 45 hours while these decide if they want to do whatever it is they need to do. So all that does what it's going to do. Maybe. Let's look at some other stuff to do. I mean, the point of this is securing and security, but I do still want to set this guy up properly. Do I have nano? H-top, Z-shell. Okay. I should leave this in the background while I'm messing around. Oh, and this time it just starts up. Because I'm staring at it, right? Alright, well, either way, we're waiting for the response errors to end, so... Are you getting a response error? Okay, now got rid of the HTTPS. So that's a good sign. It doesn't seem to be loading, but I mean, what do you want? Everything? I don't have that backwards, right? Like 30. Let's see. This will show me in a second. Oh, well, that just did the port forwarding. Yeah. Okay, so I had her at the first. Well, kind of. So in theory, let's go back to our original premise here. Well, right. Before we get too far, let's get us maybe a... No, we want the worker emoji, huh? Do you want the construction working or the office worker? Maybe we'll go with the office worker. No, we want the office worker can probably be the main. We want the construction worker for this guy. And then make sure root owns it. And now we're the worker. And if I do... Where's the skull? Is it behind the guy? Do also need to get rid of these. It's interesting that it doesn't have the skull. Why you no skull? Oh. There we go. Get rid of space. Oops. We don't want that space in there. All right, good enough. Now what we want to do is get back to the ranch, and that was, we want to copy indexer, dashboard, ingress to indexer, dashboard. Yeah. And then I need to config map generator. Wasn't the indexer service dashboard? There we go. Indexer. Why? Why would I type that all out? It's that moment where I'm standing there looking down at myself going, what are you doing? Make sure we're pointing to the right thing. It's 5.6. One, I believe. Services. 5601. Yep. Okay. But then we also need to modify you. AWS load balancer. I'm going to leave that alone for now. But we're going to change this to that. What the heck? All right. Do I have that right? Dash K, yep. No errors, no fuss, no muss. Hacker solver's up, dashboard is running. Ingress is going. Oh. Well, that's a problem. How? Okay. Well. How did I stare at that and it still... It's not pointing at dashboard service. Wait. Isn't it? Wait, hang on. Oh, that's the wrong thing. Yeah. Just dashboard. Okay. Staple set, ingress configured. Okay. There we go. Hey, that's cool. Although it's saying it's not secure is not cool. But that could just be a hang up from previous. All right. Well, now we're cooking with gas. Or we've got gas. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. I don't remember what these passwords were. We will have to change them when we go to deploy, but I am actually curious if I can go in and just replace everything with something else. Because I feel like right now my namespaces, I have prod services and dev services, and I really should just prefix everything. Should be prod, name of service, dev, name of service, so that all the namespaces are separated. It makes it a little easier all in all, but again, well, it makes it a little bit easier to keep track of what's where, and it's a little bit more secure. We're talking about security, right? But we're going here. This should be admin, right? And the super secret password. And we're in. Well, let's make sure. Let's not celebrate just yet. It's looking good. Now, I wonder if doing it this way, it maybe takes care of the madness with the agent's stuff. I don't like that it, like, why isn't that pre-filled also? I just have to guess which one's the right one. All right, we got that. Let's say, I know that we want the registration server, which is 1515, right? 10.2.100.08. We'll see. Oh, what am I doing? I'll just do it here. Let's clean that up too. Although this may end up being a thing, so. Just make sure that that's done. Good, good. All right. It's funny with the construction worker's hat, it looks like, well, I don't want to say what it looks like, but it's funny to me. First, let's look at the logs. Alright, so it can't get to 107.15.15. That's what it's trying to do first. So 107.15.15 is now 108.15.15. Gilbert. That last time it gave me, I think I never connected. Okay, so it's not a fan of that one. Some would go 109.15.14, and then it's gonna go over to the other one. 109.15.14. Yes. Let's just double check the logs. Oh, wait. Was I just impatient? That never happens. Hey, Codilo? Just poking around at Waza, trying to get it to do what it's supposed to do again. What about you? What you up to? Oh, did I lose you before you even... When did you chat? There you are. I guess I missed him. Darn. I hate having my window over there on the right. I need to make it, like, chirp at me when someone talks. Now let's restart you again. All right, and hopefully now we'll have one active agent. There we are. So it still has to do that stupid shuffle. What is... Oh, you're back. So yeah, in case you missed it, I was just trying to get this working again so that I can get this list and get this scan. Oh boy, have you come to the wrong place for that. No, just kidding. Where's my other one? Oh, I need to get out of here. Hop over to one. This guy is still running bash. Oops, no. You know, I always get Star Citizen, and in my brain it's like 5 games. So now it's derailing my whole train of thought right now. So I'm trying to make sure. Okay, no, it's not. It's never the one that I think it is. What's there's another space. Oh, Outer Worlds, I think, is the one I always in my brain think. Yeah, I always think of this one. I don't know why. Oh, that's bad. I would recommend not doing that. Just allow selection. Don't show again. Go away. Interesting. Oh, I didn't know it was like a... Is it really a browser game? Oh, no. Okay. I've confirmed that I read and understand the PC specs. Yeah, not on this one. I actually haven't played it. Like I said, it's a game that sticks out. It's either, in my mind, I replace it with this one, or there's a space RTS game that always pops into my head. But anyway, like I said, it immediately derails me and I start thinking of like other games. But no, I haven't played it. At log OS. Can't connect, same deal. We do the shuffle, so 109. Oh wow, it can't connect to the correct server, so we have to do the 108 for register. There's got to be a reason behind this, but I haven't bothered to research it. Wait, 1515, right? 1515, all right. And are we getting a new one here? There we go. 9, 15, 14. And we restart. Now I'm doing this just so that I can show like, here's prior to what I was doing and here's post what I'm doing. So what I've done, or what I did yesterday and partially the day before, is I built a custom image for Debian so that I could take one of my nodes down and rebuild it with the eye on following the proper security requirements, specifically on how the file structure is laid out, because I just put everything in the same all at once, and that's because, well, I'm lazy, and that was easy. But it's time to do it right and make it match the CIS benchmarks. So this is my original score, basically, because 3 was exactly the same as 1. The only thing I've done between 1 and 3 is change partition tables and set it all on LVM so that I can change it in the future. That's it. I haven't reinstalled Kubernetes yet. There's a whole lot left to do on that particular end, but the goal is to run through that assessment on each one of these and get it as close to 100 as I can. I do say as close to because there's some things I'm not going to deal with. Like there was one in here that I just laughed. I do need to make sure that I have some things set as not applicable when they make sense. But this all started quite a while ago when I first set this server up the first time around, and then I ran into a fun little issue where it was sitting on the 3rd node and it was a stateful set. So when I moved it, it apparently burned itself to the ground. So I just had to reinstall it today. Yay! Yeah, like aid. Aid is a cool concept. Before I go down this road, I'm going to look at what I need to do to optimize it for a Kubernetes install, because holy cow, is it resource intensive when what it provides is not as intensive as or it's not as useful as it thinks it is. So there's some things that I'm just going to set aside. But now that we've got this running, do I still have... Oh yeah, the other one doesn't have that running. So we are back in action. I'm kind of just like shocked that I'm at this point, honestly. Okay. Let's do the thing. And just start jumping through the hoops. Fine, I won't wait for it to load. Give me the agents. Oh, don't tell me I just did something stupid again. Okay, good. All right, so first things first. Ensure mounting of cram file systems are disabled. Edit or create a file in the modprobe D ending comp. All right. Now, why? CRAN file system type is a compressed read-only Linux file system embedded in small footprint systems. A CRAN image can be used without having to first... Oh, okay, so you could essentially run a virtualization. I don't think I'm using... Let me make sure. Yeah, I get that. So, okay, there is... Okay, good. It's the exact same thing. Oh, great. So I think my best bet is just disable it, and if I run into an issue with a process requiring it, then I'll run into that issue, and that's fine. This is fine. Everything's fine. You go away. All right. So step one, we need to make this file. Let's make sure. Oh, right. Essentially, yeah. Basically, what I do every time I'm streaming is just kind of work around in my home lab. My home lab currently consists of a couple of switches, a couple of Cisco switches, and a 4-node Kubernetes cluster. And I run my own DNS, my own DHCP, all that sort of stuff. And I just screw around in it every day. But I started realizing, like, some of the things I'm doing, I'm a very security focused person normally, but my security in my lab is basically, well, it's behind a firewall. No one's allowed in it. Well, that's not super helpful. So I figured, I've got a bunch of security certificates. A lot of those certificates and a lot of the training around them is just knowing the right words. It doesn't really talk you through going through the process. So I'm kind of walking through the process of securing each one of these servers. And the first one is the 3rd node in my Kubernetes cluster. And my goal is basically, so this list, which is provided by this server called Weza, this is actually an industry standard. It's the CIS is Center for Internet Security, and they provide basically guidance on how to lock down servers. So, well, there's an easy way to keep it in mind. Remember, Kerberos is a dog. No, but really, I can understand. I mean, Kerberos is the multi-headed dog, and Kubernetes is a multi-node cluster. Like, yeah, okay. But Kerberos is always authentication, 100% of the time. Authentication or authorization? It's one of those things. It's in the AAA pyramid. But I always think of I always think of the logo. So whenever I think of Kubernetes, it's the wheelhouse. You're piloting pods, you're piloting VMs, you're piloting containers. Kerberos is the dog that stands in front of the gates of hell to make sure you're dead before you're allowed in. So, authentication. Sure. I mean, that's basically what this guy is. So this is just an application for interpreting Kerberos. Or now you made me do it. For interpreting Kubernetes. So this is like an example of what the cluster looks like. So you have the CPU usage, memory, pods. I recently upgraded this app, and it's something that's technically out of production. So there's a few things that are missing in here, and it's bugging the heck out of me, but that's neither here nor there. So these are the nodes that make up all of this capability. So across all of them, I'm using almost 10 gigs. I have a limit of 15 gig for individual, and I have a capacity of 50 gig across all of my clusters. There's a little bit more, there's some intricacies, like this node here has the ability to use a GPU, whereas none of the other ones do. So it's got basically, unless a pod or a service is requesting a GPU, nothing can schedule to it. This one is my controller, and that's kind of where everything goes through. So when you send a request, it goes to the controller. The controller looks at all of the pods or looks at all of the nodes and says, okay, who's got capacity? Right now, dev-mini1 is probably going to be the next place something gets sent. It takes into account some other things, like what type of request you're making. Like if you're just doing a generic deployment, it doesn't care. But if you're doing if you're doing a stateful set, which is basically a container that needs to keep things. Containerization as a whole is, you're supposed to set it up so that it can be just destroyed and rebuilt, and it doesn't matter. But a stateful set allows you to say, I need to keep this piece of storage, and every time it spins up, it needs to go back to that piece of storage. So in some cases, it'll set affinities and say, okay, this piece of storage is on this node, so this particular stateful set, if it gets spun up, it has to go to that node. That can be annoying. There are ways around it, block storage and things along those lines. I haven't gotten there myself yet. I've done a little bit of work towards it, but nothing distributed. So basically, they just all talk to each other and keep that balance. The nodes are actually machines in my case. They can be VMs. I have a secondary lab that is all VMs, but the nodes are considered computers. So it can be a VM, it can be whatever, but it has to give all of the capabilities of an actual machine. Whereas like a pod, I keep saying pod and container interchangeably, but pods are groups that Kubernetes understands that keeps track of containers. That's where it gets a little fuzzy, because containers are like VMs, but it's a virtual machine that's only pulling exactly what it needs from the host system and nothing more. So there's a lot of shared resources, unless something's specifically requested. So what's an example? Like each one of these is an individual pod. Technically, there is only one container per pod. This one actually started up with 3 containers that set up the environment for it, and then they just shut down. They're called init containers. Everything that's in a pod is shared. So if I go to here, so this is a Screeps server. I don't know if you know, Screeps is just it's a game, but it's based around JavaScript. The way it's set up is I've got a database server, a Redis server, and then the Screeps server itself. The cool thing about this is that any one of those servers or any one of those containers inside of this pod can refer to itself using localhost. So, trying to think of the easiest way to explain this. When Screeps needs to contact the database, instead of going out to the database object, it just does localhost because it's all running in the same context. When you go one level out, you go to namespaces, then like if I have another pod, they have to refer to each other by the name of the pod. Does that make sense? A little bit? I mean, when you see the Docker being represented as a container ship, I mean, it really is like the idea being everything inside one of the containers can talk to each other. But if you want to talk outside of that container, you need to know the container number. You need to know more information. And then it's all sitting on the whale, which, you know, to be able to talk to another whale, you have to know not only the container and what's inside the container, but you have to know which whale to talk to. It's turtles all the way down. But the basic concept is that a pod or a container should be the lowest possible individual service, and a pod should be made up of those lowest component services. And then yeah. And then that's how you build up microservices, essentially. Man, there's supposed to... I wonder if that just crashed. Let me try. Get rid of you. Maybe? Like I said, this is a cool little piece of software, but it is no longer supported. And it's on the back end, it's basically just a Node.js service. Because that's kind of the cool thing about Kubernetes in general is it's just an API. Well, it's the easiest way of doing it, or the easiest way of explaining its use case, is that you can have a bunch of disparate hardware and jam it together into essentially a massive computer. You can think of each one of the pods as just being a piece of software that gets deployed. Like if I go... Let me go to let's just do pods. If I go outside of the namespace and I do all namespaces, this is basically a list of everything that I've over time installed on the thing. Some of it's automatic, some of it installs on its own. But like my ingresses, I have, no, you're not supposed to be named that anymore. Doesn't matter. I have, say, I have Git on there. I've got Jenkins, which pulls from that Git to do the installation. I've got Zabbix, which monitors my network stuff. I think I've got this one still set up. Nope, I gotta check it. I haven't looked at my network in a while. But it's essentially a server OS that you can externally hit and create stuff for. That's one I use quite a bit. You're still running, right? Yeah. This is a piece of software I recently upgraded and blah, blah, blah. And it's been stupid. It's not set up to be containerization. Well, thankfully for you, the Kubernetes aspect of it is less important for what I'm doing right now. Right now, I'm basically securing Debian. I'm hardening a Debian server. Like at the end of the day, that's what's happening right now. Install. That doesn't seem right. Yeah. Why would it say /true? Unless I'm missing something in what it's saying. Okay. So what provides that? Well, kind of the other way around. I mean, I'm using pure Debian, so like Ubuntu is Debian based, but this is just Debian. Oh, of course. It's just not in the regular user's path. Okay, cool. Exactly. And Ubuntu is not even someone. It's a whole company built around the concept of modifying it. It's kind of funny. Red Hat is the one that's the other way around. All of the RPM based distributions are working off of Red Hat. Although that gets a little murky because there's OpenSUSE, which is RPM based, I think. Or does it use Yum? Or Yast? It gets really screwball. But yeah, Ubuntu is basically a customized Debian. Customized enough to where in a lot of cases, there are things that will run on Ubuntu that won't run on Debian, and vice versa. There's a couple of different ways to do those modifications. There's actually distributions now that are modified versions of Ubuntu. So then you're 3 layers out. Let's see, did this take care of it? Oops. I'm going to have to do each one of these, huh? Sweet. There, create a file, blah, blah, blah. Ending in the following line. Install. And then unload it? It doesn't make sense. All right, well, I'm going to leave that and we'll try the next one. And then I'll go through and hit all these file systems and then reboot it and see what happens. Hey, no problem. Half of why I'm here is to, share what I'm learning and talk to others about it. And see what other people are doing if they've got a Homelab up and running. So that's my question to you. Got anything running? Here, I just... cram to VX. Oops. I don't know why I'm not just doing this as root. VXF. And this is why you always copy and paste. There we are. Oh, I got that fine. I mean, hey, that's a lab. Like I said, one of my labs is 3 VMs acting like a Kubernetes cluster. I'll run through some changes on it just to make sure that I'm not going to completely destroy the other one. Have you done any of the hack the box challenges? Those are fun. Like, you really just, you download the VM and you go through all of the steps to take it over and own it. And a lot of it's just capture the flag sort of stuff, but some of it's actually got some cool stories to them. And the good thing about it, because I'm absolutely terrible at it, at the programming aspect of it, is that they do for pretty much all of them, they have a thing where you can just kind of uncover hints. So, you know, you do a few of them, and after a while, you start going, okay, this is a SQL server, so they're wanting me to validate the version of the SQL server. Oh yeah, there's these hacks into that, and it's kind of crazy how far with some of the customized OSs for pen testing you can get without really having to spend too much time programming just off your own memory. I'd recommend it. It's a lot of fun, and it gives you a perspective on security that's a little different. And it also kind of tells you, like, it tells you about the different aspects of it. One of the things that I found really interesting after doing a couple of the security certificates was the heavy focus on documentation, and just taking some of that knowledge of how the documents are laid out, and when you're doing the hack the boxes, creating the vulnerability report that you would be submitting if it were your job, or, you know, something like that, is, I wouldn't say fun, but it's at least enlightening. That's two. This case. Oh, I can just grab the whole thing, can I? You know, there we go. And next, oh, let's run that too, even though I think it's going to give me the same thing. Cool. My first cert was the CISSP. I actually let that expire on accident. I was supposed to put my continuing education, what were they called? Continuing education points into their system, but I was in China at the time. Didn't work out so well. But then I also have the Network Plus, the CompTIA Security Plus, and the Cybersecurity Analyst Plus. The CISSP, I think, is quite honestly the best one if you're just going to get one. But going through that route is, in my mind, taught me the most, whereas the other ones were kind of just the CompTIA. Most of the CompTIA stuff, honestly, is vocabulary tests. I wouldn't say it's really difficult. It's got a lot of moving parts, and there's kind of a gear shift in that it's not just cybersecurity. It's security in general. So, like, you have to know what a bollard is. And I was surprised. One of the things I was watching was you have to remember what a bollard is, what it's used for, and there was a question on the test about what a bollard was. Just in case you're not sure, that's what a bollard is. Yep, those have names. Best file systems. Nope, don't care. Yeah, there's actually some really cool videos out there of bollards because there's all kinds of different types. There's the automatic retractable ones. There's a lot of videos of the retractable ones like popping up underneath cars and stuff. They're hilarious. No. Oh, well, okay, so a little bit. Nowhere near what the CCNA goes over. The Net Plus really is, I think, the most in-depth networking piece about it that it really focuses on is the IP addressing. Like, you have to be able to convert IP addresses to binary and back in your head. That was the most hardcore part of it, which is once you get it, you get it. Yeah, exactly. Like the first couple of times you look at it, you go, that doesn't make sense, and then you just count it up and you're like, oh, okay, there's 8 of them. Multiply. Jeez. I mean, it of course gets interesting on IPv6, but it's the same thing, just longer. It's so the CISSP is kind of a funny one. It is definitely higher on the security scale from most of them. I would say what's the CEH for me is probably the highest, and there's higher levels of that as well. The CISSP is it's a very incredibly useful one in the corporate world. It's as soon as you're outside, yeah, absolutely, post away. As soon as you're outside the corporate world, the CISSP means a little bit less. Like, you kind of have to have access to a lot of stuff for it to really. No, it's good across the board. I'm not gonna lie. It is really good at just security in general. It's the only one that really focuses on stuff like man traps and physical security and like camera placement, light placement, how to set up a fence and light perimeter properly. Like, the physical side of security that it covers just isn't handled by anything else. And, you know, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how secure your server is. Let's see. Let's go this route. Actually, you know what? I should put the link on. Holy cow, that's a lot of boxes. Hang on, let me pop up over here. Because I have you on my side computer, which is where I keep the chats at. But, let's grab it. See what we got here. Come on. Wow, this definitely covers a lot. Yeah, it's not super deep into the network stuff. It covers a lot of identity and access. That's true. The architecture side, definitely. Asset security, that's the physical side. Risk management, yep. I would say, well, no, it does cover the assessment and testing, and it's much lighter on the software security side. I would say it's a little bit heavier on the operations side, specifically into forensics, but not a whole lot. I'm sure they probably got other ones. But you notice this CASP, CISSP, and SSCP, they're all basically the same. They're all from ISC2. It's funny, they didn't even offer this when I was going. I only had this guy. Security Plus. I guess it does. Yeah, it kind of does the assessment stuff. Security Plus is kind of really focused in this area. It really doesn't cover asset security. I mean, it does talk a little bit about like different types of locks and doors, but not much. But it does cover a little bit in the architecture side. I don't think it doesn't have I would actually say that the cybersecurity analyst one, which is, I guess, supposed to be one step above the Security Plus, but one step up in a particular direction, it shifts it over to this side, and it's not on here. But that one, I think, does quite a bit more in the operations side of things, like saying that you can actually do stuff. Here's all these are all from the same thing, huh? Oh no, these are different. Certified professional ethical hacker. But the one thing about security, or the one thing about these in general, when you look at, let's say you're applying for a security job, and I'm the worst person to talk about this because I'm currently unemployed, but let's say you're applying for a security job. I've been on the other side looking at the hiring docs, right? If I see a bunch of certificates and then I see, time at a large company or whatever, that's one thing. But if I saw that there was contribution to open source, or if I saw that there was actual bug bounty practice, or honestly, even if I saw hack the box stuff on there, that meant way more. That meant that you're actually trying to apply it. It's something, what the real job is. It's not just you sat through the course or the boot camp or whatever. You know what I mean? Where was I? I was on HFS Plus, right? Yeah. I guess I can just do this. Make sure that says false. And then we run this guy. Cool. Like this tool's free. It's open source. I'm considering whether or not it's worthwhile to have. Like, okay, cool, it's got this remediation here, but shouldn't it just have like a press here to copy and then go over and paste it? Seems to me like that's the best way to go about it, rather than having to figure out copy, paste. I don't. Ooh, I might need Squash FS. Let's see. That's not what I want. Okay, that shouldn't be. I'll go from the same thing. I'll just disable it first. And finally, the UDF. Right? Yeah. Make sure temp is configured, but I don't need temp. That. And run this to make sure. All right, so that's everything in the file system range. Yeah, I mean, Hack the Box is a good place to start, but bug bounties are super easy. And it's something you can do, like, it's especially easy to do as a hobby, because let's be honest, there's some companies that they're going to be like, oh, you found an asterisk where there shouldn't be an asterisk. I'm not going to give you $5. You know, I don't know. Sure looks like it. I know when I was... What was the one I was last looking at? It's the one Tesla uses. I think it's Bug Crowd. Yeah. Bug Crowd is the one that when I was doing it. I mean, that's a good average payout, though. Scan at... the not applicables. Why is that not applicable? Not a directory? I do need to set up UFW. That's not fun. Alright. Why are these still showing as failed? Is there a date on this failure? If I go... if I set this to true like it wants. Okay, yeah. So maybe I need it to be able to refresh. Fresh data to server in near real time, huh? Ignoring bad lines, starting with install. What? Oh. That's fine. I mean, who would even notice, right? Oops. Okay. Well, I'll just have to leave that as is. And I think with the file system stuff done, that's probably where I'm leaving it for today. So tomorrow's not going to be a learning day. Tomorrow I'm just gonna be playing Shadowrun. But every Tuesday to Thursday, this is what I do. Go through and right now I'm on a mission to repair the security of my lab, but who knows what's next. That's not... 1653. Huh? That's not what I wanted. So yeah, it was good talking to you. Cadillo, and hope to see you again. Hey, it claims I have 3 people. I wonder if I can send a raid somewhere. Is there anything? There's no one on right now that I normally watch. Nope. No one I normally watch is online. That's unfortunate. Let's see about... Oh, this guy's pretty good. Let's go that route. Yeah, I'm going to send you over to Tom Millman. He's working on some software development. Up to you guys if you want to stick around. All right, take care, everyone.